The J35, widely regarded as the biggest Dorito in the world. It was developed by a Swedish aerospace company that I can't pronounce the name of. In 1960 was its first flight, and it was widely regarded as one of the best fighters at its time period, with incredible maneuverability, not so good at low speed, but good at high speed maneuverability. It gained interest from many countries, including the US, Finland being one who actually purchased them. In my opinion, it's one of the coolest looking jets in the world. One of the more interesting things that it brought to the world of aviation is its ability to pull off the Cobra maneuver. This maneuver was developed by Swedish pilots, not Russian pilots, and you may have seen it in many movies such as Top Gun Maverick. With all these impressive abilities, you may think it's probably quite the vehicle in War Thunder, so let's go over to War Thunder and see what it's like. In game, we're looking at the J35D, a pretty impressive plane with impressive maneuverability at a BR of 10.3. General performance, it has top speed of nearly 1400 miles per hour at altitude, and it has a 25-second turn time. Rated climb isn't all that necessary to know, but it's 35,000 feet per minute. Modifications, it has a decent range of air-to-ground dumb missiles and 2 different air-to-air missiles. I prefer the RB-24Js, which have 20 Gs of pull and a maximum speed of Mach 2.5. Now, something to take into consideration, the maximum speed is not going to be reached for very long on these missiles, so I like to shoot at people with reasonably close range and then going below Mach, because if you don't do that, it's not necessarily going to hit. For our air-to-ground armament, we have the M57B rockets. Each pod has 19 rockets, and I use them primarily as flares, but they are pretty useful in the air-to-ground role. You also get the M56D, and you get 12, 6 on each pylon. These have a bit larger explosive, but they aren't as beneficial for flares, and I have not used them in an air-to-ground role to my knowledge. For ARB loadouts, I use the RB-24J air-to-air missiles and the M57B rocket pods for flares. I'll have an example of the flares in use, or the rockets in use, in the footage later. For sim battles, I usually will take 2 drop tanks and 2 missiles, or I will do the same air-to-air loadout that I use for ARB, depending on the size of the sim map that we're playing. The J35 takes a pretty low, or can carry a pretty low amount of fuel, so having fuel tanks is essential for larger sim maps in the air-to-air role. Sadly, you cannot take 1 drop tank. You have to take 2 for balancing reasons. I do think they allow you an extra 10 minutes of fuel, which is a lot for this plane in sim battles. So let's take it out to an actual match now and see how it performs. So here we are in the city map. I am pretty high up and I'm currently locking a target. One of the things I didn't mention about the RB-24Js is that they have the ability to lock onto radar locks. I can't remember the actual terminology for that right now, but just trust. What I like to do at the start of matches in my BR range, not an up tier, is find a standalone target pretty high up and get in his blind spot and just shoot a missile at him. It works about 90% of the time. It works this time, which I was actually surprised about, because the F4 has pretty high speed, or high top speed, and he was also pitching up, which I didn't think the missile would make it, but it did. Then after I do that, I'll usually check and see if there's anyone else in the area. In this case, there was not. There was a bunch of people below. So I cut over and go to those people. I am now tracking a F5, but I decide that F5 is not good enough for me, so I go after this one because he's actually approaching quicker. I get a radar lock, get a missile lock, shoot a missile at him. He's good as dead, doesn't flare, doesn't do anything. I see a MiG-21 breaking off from the pack. I lock him up, shoot him, he's dead. I see this A-10 low and slow. I shoot at him, and he's also dead. So, a couple of things to address. Number one, your ears do not deceive you. Every time I launch a missile, it does in fact play the Freebird guitar solo. That's a mod I added in because I think it's funny. Number two, when I was searching for the clip of Mario screaming for me about hitting that mountain there, I found this.
Scroll down, you can see a nice picture of pregnant Mario.
What is going on here?
What is going on?
What the hell are you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? That's hot.
What? Like, what even did I just watch? Who even are these people? Like, you know what? We're just gonna continue with the video. That was probably the easiest and quickest 4 kills I've ever gotten. I'm just that good. I am him. You know me by my name, Ion Sniper. I don't know what any of that means. I see this SU-25 shooting after this A5. What on earth is an A5? Anyways, I start shooting at him. I miss all my shots because I'm not him. You don't know me by my name. This A5, I think it was an A5. Oh, F7. I'm not even paying any attention. Comes in and kills him for me. Thank you for that. And we cut ahead a ways because nothing really happens for a bit here. So now on our 12 o'clock we have a MiG-21. He is not paying any attention, so I decide, well, since I don't have any missiles, I'm going to try and do guns, and I absolutely obliterate him. Because I am him. I am the best. Easiest 5 kills of my life, baby. We're going to the big leagues. Anyways, then we have a MiG-21 and a F4 on my tail, and I have 70 rounds of ammo and hardly any fuel left. So I decide I'm going to leave. And this is where the speed of this plane comes in handy. The F4 launches a missile at me, and you can see behind me eventually it just explodes. I don't know why he took that shot. He was very far away, but he's getting into missile range now, so I'm keeping a close eye on him. And he launches a second missile at me, and this one's probably going to hit. I don't know if it's radar or not, so I start diving to try and lob it into a mountain and start flaring. And you'll notice behind me here in a second, it hits the top of that little hill, and crisis averted there. I am trying to lure him to the runway to get shot down by SPAA. What I don't realize is this is not the one with SPAA, and I'm just luring him to kill all my teammates on the runway. I realized just now-ish? Yeah, just there, I realized, oh wait, that's the wrong runway. So I kind of book it, try and get him to at least go after my teammates to get out of my hair, which is kind of a scummy move. I don't normally do that, I just forgot. And like the average F4 player, this guy just bites the dust. And of course got to put LOL in chat because like what did I just watch? The MiG-21 is still behind me, and I guess trying to take out my teammates. I don't know what happened to that one squad member of mine. I guess maybe he J'd out. And now we're landing. I'll talk about landing performance here. What I like to do is, obviously this time I was kind of coming in hot because of the MiG-21 behind me. And when I think I'm being chased, I'll land on the taxiway because it's closer to the SPAA and you'll get them shot quicker. But I drop my gear around 290, 280 miles per hour. Very buttery smooth touchdown here. I turned off my engine because of the low fuel. The drag chute comes out around 180 miles per hour, give or take. I think it depends on the map, honestly, because sometimes it comes out later, sometimes it comes out sooner. And yeah, so that's basically where the match ends. I end up repairing, and it just ends. So we'll move on to the next match. Alright, so here we are in the next match. I'm going to take this time to talk a little more about tactics over than just narrating gameplay. One of the things, or one of the most important things I would recommend in flying the J35 or any Delta Wing, is the J35 considered a Delta Wing? I don't know. Anyways, is go high, as long as there's not going to be radar missiles and you don't have chaff and flares. Go high to get a good energy state on everyone else so you can dive down on them. With the tactic you're seeing me use right now, where I try and shoot someone out really high up, I usually try and do a wide turn and not a sharp turn, because if you do a wide turn, you'll keep a lot of your speed. It seems to work a lot better that way. And yeah, mostly just keep your energy up. If someone's going Mach and you're at like 300-400 miles per hour and you go into a merge, do not continue that merge. Don't turn around, because you're just gonna wind up dead basically every time. With this MiG-21, I could have gotten guns on it, but I just decided I'd get a cheap kill there. Anyways, yeah, so basically just keep energy up. Don't go for merges that are not beneficial. So I'm going to talk here a little more about gameplay and come back to tactics here in a later part of the video. So I'm merging with this A-10A, and I don't exactly know what he was on, but I need some. He doesn't shoot at me, he doesn't do anything, and he's dead. As they do say, if you're high, you die. This other guy's pretty high up too, and I go into the merge with him, I kill him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and that he didn't have guns on me, so he couldn't really do anything about it. But that's an easy 4 kills. I see this MiG-21 off to my left, and he shoots what I believe to be an R3R based on the fact that it absolutely misses and doesn't go for my flares, as it shouldn't if it's a radar missile. And he's trying to merge with me and get guns on, but I'm just trying to keep out of his guns because I knew I would die if I got in his guns. Matter of fact, that makes perfect sense. I go behind him, try and get guns on him. I'm very low on ammo at this point, but I see this hunter, which would be an easier target. So I go and merge with him, or try to merge with him, and absolutely miss because I'm really bad at the game. And I should have continued pursuing the hunter, but he went high, and I see this MiG-21 low, and I could not see, using my screen brightness, that he was crashing. I thought he was still flying. So I check all around me, make sure no one's coming after me, and I decide I'm gonna RTB. What? Where am I? Well, I guess I'm in sim now. Pretty nice cockpit. Oh look, the football game's on.
Here it is. The season's on the line. 2 receivers left and right. Touchdown! No!
Okay, well that guy was a little mad. Let's talk about this cockpit we're in. So right here's the compass. That's pretty standard stuff. We got on the left here is the speedometer. On the right is the G monitor, I guess is what you would call that. There's of course a clock. I don't know what this little thing with the infinity symbol is in the front. I have absolutely no clue what that is. I think it might be an AOA meter, but I'm not sure. Of course we got a radar thing in the middle here, and a few other gauges that have something to do with the engine. I'm not entirely sure. I think engine RPM. Yeah, so let's take off here. This whole sequence of events is not very entertaining. I had a really good sim match where I got a double ace in it, plus 2 more, so 12 kills. But somehow I lost the footage for that. I'm not entirely sure how. So I am going to intercept what it appears to be just some bombers or attackers. And the radar on this thing has a really good IFF, which is identify friend from foe, or identify friend foe, or whatever else you want to say it is, which is really useful for sim, where you don't have to worry about killing the wrong person. So skipping ahead a little ways here, we have 3, I think, F-86s maybe. I don't exactly remember what they are. I have one locked up with my radar, and I remember the terminology, but the missile radar slaves is what it's called. It's called radar slaving. So I launch a missile at one, I lock another one here, launch a second missile, and then I go for guns on the third. These are all bots, but I mean, it's better than nothing in Sim. So, tactics in Sim are pretty standard with normal. It actually seems to fly a bit better and lose less energy in Sim, which doesn't make much sense, but that seems to be how it is. I would say the radar on this thing is above average at this BR, so it'll be really easy to pick out enemies and shoot them down. The radar slaving makes life so incredibly easy. We're skipping ahead a little bit here. I am intercepting another bot, which I didn't realize was a bot. I thought it was a MiG-23 at this point. And this can show you a little bit of the maneuverability of it in Sim. I didn't really get too crazy with any maneuvers here, but I launched my missile. He's dead. Pretty simple stuff. There's not really much to say during these clips, just because it wasn't a very exciting Sim match. We're doing a very hard turn here, which can kind of show you the speed drop and just general performance of it. Skipping ahead a bit further here, we got a... I'm heading out of the cap zone because I spotted a enemy on the radar. I'm trying to go for the intercept, can't find him. I finally get the ping on him. I try and lock, but it's having a hard time locking. I finally get it, and I'm trying to figure out which target it is, and I see it's this guy here, which I believe is a MiG-23. And so here in a minute here, I'll shoot my missile. I'm not entirely sure what I do. There, I shoot my missile there. And I worry the missile was going to hit my teammate over there, but it actually does connect with the MiG-23, and he dies. He killed me earlier in the match, which is why it says eye for an eye there. He was really the only other player in the enemy team. So, would I recommend this plane for Sim? Absolutely. I would rate this plane in Sim matches compared to other planes I've played, such as the Kronos, the Kafir, the F-15, both types, the F-16. I would definitely recommend this plane. I would give it a probably 8 out of 10. If it had flares, it would be better, but with the pods, it's pretty good. So I would recommend this plane over a lot of other planes in Sim. I would say it's one of the best, if not the best, at this BR. Alright, so would I recommend the J35D? If you've been paying any attention to the video, you will know that the answer, of course, is yes, with a great weapons loadout for this BR, with 20G missiles, rear aspect though, but the radar slaving does make up for it. Great performance, great speed. I think the highest I've ever gotten it to go in an actual match was Mach 1.60, which is pretty darn fast. It obviously looks incredible. One of the best looking planes, I think, in the game. It does not, I forgot to mention this earlier, but it does not have any other camouflages, but there is a good market for user skins, and there is some skins on the Gaijin Marketplace you can buy if you want to do that. I have not bought any, but I do have some user skins for it that I was going to use in this video, but I thought maybe we just keep it plain. Is it worth it to grind the Swedish tech tree for this plane? I would say yes. That's actually what I decided to start grinding the Swedish tech tree for, was the J35D, and it was very well worth it. I thought maybe it would be a bad plane because it didn't have flares, but the rocket pod idea was works quite well, and I haven't had much trouble with shaking off missiles at this BR. If the J35A goes back on sale, probably in another year or another half year, I don't exactly know the frequency of sales on the J35A. It basically has the same performance as this, but with the RB-24s and not the RB-24Js as missile. I don't know if I can recommend that one or not, though. I think it's honestly more worth it to just save your money and actually just grind out the tech tree. the texture grind is pretty fast for Sweden because it just has so little planes. The J35 XS, I believe is what it's called, the premium one that's always up, I would not recommend just based on how this one performs. It does have a little more thrust, but at 11.3, I believe is its BR, with only slightly better missiles and 12 flares. It comes into contact a lot with me and my Kafir, and I absolutely dominate it every single time. But of course, those are totally different ballparks of plane performance, but the fact that they can come up against each other shows you how not worth it it really is. I don't think the XS is a bad plane by any means. I just think it's a little over-tiered, and it definitely was when F-14s were more prominent at its BR range. But overall, the J35D, my thoughts on it: good plane, good missiles, good flight performance, good guns. I mean, 30mm guns with, was it nearly 300 rounds of ammo, I think. I don't think you can get much better than that at this BR. The only thing that would make it better is the ability to have flares, which it just does not have that. So anyways, thank you for watching this video. I know it took a little while to make. There was a lot of things in my life that got in the way, such as me being sick twice while I was trying to record, and some other things along with me waiting for the update. It's just taken a hot second. I'm sorry about the wait, but I do only have 3 subscribers and very low views, so I don't think anyone was too concerned about the wait. Anyways, please consider subscribing. Please like. Please comment. I don't know. Get this video out there. I need views. I need the I need the F-117 Nighthawk, bro. I need that G. So I need the partnership, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so I'll have a video coming out pretty soon on my thoughts on the next update, the December update. That should be coming out pretty shortly. And yeah, thanks for watching.